Welcome to Two Guys.
A girl.
and an MBA.
I always thought my English degree was worthless. And then ChatGPT got invented and I started writing it essays and I was like, "Oh, the future is going to be learning how to communicate and that's going to be in text because as we learned at BU, voice isn't here yet and it's going to be a long while before voice is fully here. And even when voice is here, learning how to write and express yourself
Yes.
better, you speak better. So you know, the future is going to be full of writers running these
Linguistic
AIs.
plus IT.
Yes, yes, yes,
Perfect match.
exactly.
What you're saying about voice and AI, and then a potentially new, like my daughter's doing English, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is not. And then there was this weird time where English would have been useful. Like, there's a lot of copywriters, and then it just went like nowhere. And now you're saying the ability to write is a value and also speaking. So what do you guys mean?
Yeah, what I mean is um, the way you communicate with the AI right now is largely via text. So what I've found is that when you're looking for the AI to serve you a solution or do some work, you have to be specific with your questions and like if you want it to give you a numerical probability, you got to tell it that, or it'll just tell you it's a high chance or low chance. It's like a mirror. It will kind of just give back what you put into it. And if you can think critically and you can ask analytical questions and then quickly assess the outputs of the AI to ask even deeper questions to then get through and solve the problem, that's that's who's going to be running the world in the next generation. The people that can run the AIs the best. And it happens with language. It just does. And it's the voice. I'm saying it's not there. Like you could argue that, well, even if you couldn't write, even if you were illiterate, you could, if AI could become, voice dominant, that, someone who's illiterate could run the AI. But even so, somebody who is, the same, I would argue the same person, fully trained, literate, is going to be a better critical thinker than even if they're a genius and they're illiterate. Um, you
Hmm.
know, yeah, it's not a value per se of in the market, but it's gonna be like the way that CEOs have to be able to read the financials, even though they're not responsible for them. You have to understand them, and you have to understand the big picture. The people who are going to be running these AI bots are going to be the ones that ask the best questions, I think.
And be
Uh,
attentive who is the owner of the AI technology. Because if you ask, hey, AI, who is the owner of Canada? And AI, it's Trump because my Musk will
Yeah.
buy it at that time. And that's all. So that's depends who is the owner and who. The same what happens with Chinese AI.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They like I cannot give you answer Taiwan. Doesn't know. Ask me something else. So again, it's not like a. It's all about biases. Who is the owner who teach the technology?
Hmm.
So
The
should be
other thing
careful.
is to write critically, you have to think critically, and when you write and think critically, you're able to parse the output better. And a lot of times the output's wrong. So a lot of time you'll ask the AI something and it will just be totally wrong. And I mean like I ask it accounting questions and it'll be like totally wrong. And
Mm-hmm.
like, no, no, objectively, you're wrong, GPT. And then it's, oh, I see where I made there. So if you can think critically, you can catch the mistakes and then now refine the intelligence. Whereas if you're not thinking critically and you're just accepting whatever it's giving to you, you start to believe the mistakes. They say down there, ChatGPT can make mistakes. I think a lot of people might not
Disclaimer:
yeah,
25% of the screen, like with
yeah,
cigarettes. Yeah, like
might be
it's
BS.
bad.
Yeah, a lot of people might not read that fine print, right?
So if ChatGPT, they're all iterative, right? They learn from you.
Mm-hmm.
If you, by extension, if you don't correct its mistakes, it's going to keep making more and more mistakes. And by the end of it, you and ChatGPT are going to be the most stupid people
Yep.
in the world. And that's pretty dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Like
True,
if
true.
you start off with an argument that America is the greatest nation, tell me why, and then it does it, and then you keep saying it again, and then eventually you both get to this weird end of the road where you want to take over planet Earth or hostile takeover, and that's just by everybody. Without, yeah, it's interesting. There's no guardrail, right?
I've found that
No,
it pushes back sometimes. Do you really want to keep focusing on that? How can we look for solutions? What's the action plan like? It'll do stuff like that.
Okay. You know what we could do? I think it would be an interesting thing where we have a standard question, we put it into Deep Seek, we put it into ChatGPT, we put it into Perplexity, or find some other, I think there's a whole bunch of other ones, and then just see what the output is, because I can tell you it would be very different.
What's crazy is you don't even have to go across platforms. You can put the same question to GPT, and it will,
OpenAI, they use it.
yeah,
They use this open source there.
Hmm,
it will slightly have. Sometimes it'll give you the same thing back, but you can ask it the same question twice, and it will give you different responses. And if you
interesting.
don't like the response, you'd say, can you refine that on this point? That's what I'm talking about, writing and thinking critically to be able to quickly parse the value that it's spat back so that you can dig and find more value in it, whatever.
Hmm.
I think it's time to have not only sexual education at schools, but also AI education. Like, be careful. Don't believe everything what you learn from AI and from ChatGPT. So
That's a good idea.
it's time because I think teenage they use it and cannot understand it's not true sometimes. They don't have enough base to understand and think critically. And moreover, ChatGPT never can create something new. It just always use what already exists. And even if you write an essay using ChatGPT, it's always be a part inspired by others' essays. So
I'm
no.
using it to write the hell out of our descriptions. It's great.
Yeah, just a quick anecdote. I have a friend who's a business prof, and during COVID, they were giving tests online. And two things, you can see the evolution of things. And when we were in school, Chegg and Course Hero,
Yeah.
those are the big deals, right? AI didn't even exist, right? And it was a big deal. Don't use those. It's not. I mean, I think Chegg's going bankrupt, by the way, by now. Anyway, so they gave the test, and what he found was 150 students answered. They didn't answer the same way. They had the same answer for an essay, like word for word for word for word for word for word for word, cut and paste. All got expelled. This is like a university, right? That was 3 years ago, right? And it goes back to what you're saying. Even if it's Chegg or AI, the answer is not the final thing. You've got to keep refining it. You can't cut and paste that stuff. Um, and funny, they were using some sort of platform to analyze all the answers at that time. I forgot what he called it. It's a proctoring service, and it easily caught it. Can you imagine today that, young people, like you're saying, Elena, they just like cut and paste it. Here's the answer, cut and paste it. Not good, right? It'll show up somehow, right? And the evolution from using Chegg and Course Hero to now ChatGPT has happened in like less than a couple of years. It's been amazingly fast.
I think it's like any tool. It can be used or it can be abused. It's a huge power. And, you know, yeah, I see the danger with the younger generations, though, what you're saying, that they have not been trained to, distinguish what's real and what's not. For us, kind of having grown up without it, it's a huge boon. It's like a real booster. Like I will just sit there and it used to take hours and hours to write copy for some of the social media and this and that. And
Oh.
no, not just this channel, but the music stuff and other things too. I'm using it in my course. Like I'm taking this CMA accounting course. I'm learning more from GPT than the instructor a lot of the times. I'm doing the problems and I'm putting it in GPT and give me another one. It gives me another one. Why is the FIFO LIFO? Explain it. Okay, I understand it now, right? Here's my computer code. Find a bug. It does. Make it more efficient. It does. You know,
Oh, it could be useful in my students year. I found the bug because I'm in the computer science faculty, and it was like sometimes I'm okay, run, and this. error, where?
One
There is
comma, right?
one comma.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not a developer, I'm not programmer, I manage them, because
Yeah.
I was so hate when I can understand why it's perfect code, why you didn't run as I expected.
Just a quick note. Did we talk about Zuckerberg canning like all of his programmers and like, he just like made a whole bunch of layoffs? It was an article for that reason. Why? And he already said it. AI is going to replace all of them, right? So it's already started.
Yeah. I mean, that's its native language, right?
Oh, that's true. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah.
I think in some basics, yes, but if it's something more complicated and you should think in different way, you still need to have some solution architect or someone like say, okay, I wrote this, and that, but the big picture is from the human brain.
Yeah, I think you have
Still.
to address human needs in the architecture, like you said, of the project, and then maybe the
Mm-hmm.
AI can do the heavy lifting of some of the technical coding, make this banner green, add a button there, whatever. Please consider subscribing below.
Thank you for being with us. Please leave your comments, feedback, what you think about us, and see you in the next podcast. Bye.